Story 1. The house. Across the yard. I was house-sitting for my aunt while she visited my cousin out of state. Her house sat at the edge of a small neighborhood with a long backyard that ended at a chain-link fence. Beyond that fence was an abandoned house. My aunt called it the Old Miller Place, though I never met anyone named Miller. It had broken windows, peeling siding, and a back door that hung slightly open no matter how many times the city boarded it up. Before she left, my aunt gave me the usual instructions. Feed the cat, bring in the mail, don't touch the thermostat. Then as she was walking out, she stopped and said, almost casually, "If you see a light over there, don't go outside." I laughed because I thought she was joking. She didn't laugh back. On my second night there, a storm rolled in around midnight. I was on the couch watching TV when the power flickered. For 1 second, the living room went black. When the lights came back, the TV had changed inputs. Instead of the show, the screen showed my aunt's backyard security camera. Rain poured over the lens. The fence was barely visible. Then I saw a light in the abandoned house. It moved behind an upstairs window, slow and yellow, like someone carrying a candle. I grabbed my phone and texted my aunt. "Is anyone supposed to be in the Miller house?" She replied, almost immediately, "No, lock the doors." That was enough for me. I checked the front door, back door, kitchen windows, and sliding glass door. Everything was locked. I pulled the curtains closed and tried to convince myself it was probably teenagers. Then the backyard motion light turned on. Someone was standing on my aunt's side of the fence. Not near the house, not near the gate, right in the middle of the yard. They were facing the camera, but the rain and darkness made them look like a black shape wearing a person's outline. I called 911. While the operator asked for the address, the figure began walking toward the house, slowly. No rush, no hesitation. Then the TV went black. A few seconds later, someone knocked on the sliding glass door. 3 soft taps. I could see the door from the living room. The curtains were closed, but a shape stood behind them. The knocking came again. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my aunt. "Do not answer if it sounds like me." I read it twice. Then a voice outside the glass said, "Honey, let me in." It was my aunt's voice, perfectly. Same tired softness. Same little crack on the word honey. I dropped behind the couch and covered my mouth. The voice said, "I forgot my keys." The operator kept asking what I was hearing, but I couldn't answer. The shape behind the curtain leaned closer until the fabric pressed inward against what looked like a forehead. Then it started whispering things only my aunt knew. The name of the cat, the code to the garage, the fact that I used to be afraid of the basement when I was little. Then it said my full name, not the shortened version everyone used. My full first, middle, and last name. The police arrived 6 minutes later. The shape disappeared before their lights hit the driveway. They found muddy footprints on the patio and in the grass, but none leading from the fence. The prints started in the middle of the yard, like someone had been placed there. The abandoned house was empty when they checked it. No candles, no fresh footprints, no sign anyone had entered. The next morning, my aunt came home early. She looked more angry than scared when I told her everything. Then I showed her the security recording. The figure was there in the yard. The knocking was there too, but right before the TV cut out, the camera caught one more thing. In the upstairs window of the abandoned house, my aunt was standing with a candle. except she was still 2 states away when it was recorded. She watched the clip 3 times. Then she deleted it from her system without asking me. I asked what the Miller place really was. She said, "It copies people who used to live near it." I asked how it knew her voice. She looked toward the backyard and said, "Because when I was your age, I answered." Story 2. The last one in the office. I used to stay late at my old office because I hated morning work. It was a marketing company on the 5th floor of a building that emptied out by 6. By 9, the whole place felt abandoned. The air conditioning shut off. The lights went dim. The only sounds were my keyboard and the elevator humming somewhere far away. There was one thing everyone joked about. Nobody liked being the last person there. At first, I thought it was normal office superstition. People said the motion lights turned on in empty rooms. They said the elevator sometimes stopped on our floor even when nobody called it. One designer swore she saw a man standing by the kitchen sink after midnight, but when she looked again, it was only her reflection in the dark window. I didn't believe any of it. One Thursday, I was alone, finishing a client deck. At 10:47 p.m., the printer started. It sat in the copy room behind me, separated by a glass wall. I could see it from my desk. No one was there. Still, the machine woke up, clicked, and printed 1 page. I walked over expecting some delayed job from earlier. The page had only 1 line. "Why are you still here?" I laughed because I thought one of my coworkers had scheduled it as a joke. Then the printer started again. This time, it printed a photo. It was grainy, black and white, taken from the hallway camera outside our office. It showed me standing in the copy room, holding the first page. Behind me, at the far end of the office, someone stood between the desks. I turned around so fast I almost dropped the paper. The office was empty. I checked under desks, conference rooms, the kitchen, even the storage closet. Nobody. I went back to my desk and packed my laptop. That's when the elevator dinged. The doors opened just outside the office entrance. I couldn't see the elevator from my desk, but I heard footsteps enter our floor. Slow, heavy, wet-sounding. They stopped at the glass office door. The badge reader beeped. Denied. Again. Denied. Again. Denied. Then my computer screen turned on by itself. A chat window opened from my own account. The message said, "Let me in." I grabbed my bag and moved toward the emergency stairs. To reach them, I had to pass the front door. Through the glass, I saw the hallway, empty, but the badge reader kept beeping. Denied, denied, denied. Then it stopped. The office phone rang. Not my desk phone. Every phone. One by one, they lit up across the dark office, each screen showing the same internal extension. I didn't answer. A voicemail notification appeared on my computer. The audio played automatically. It was my own voice, whispering, "I'm under the table." I looked at the conference room. The glass wall reflected my desk behind me, the monitors, the printer, and the empty rows of chairs. But in the reflection, the conference table had something underneath it. A pale face turned toward me. I did not look directly. I ran for the stairwell. The moment my hand touched the door, every monitor in the office turned on. Each screen showed the same live camera feed, me, standing by the stairwell, staring forward. And behind me, something crawling out from under the conference table. I pushed through the stairwell door and took 5 flights down without stopping. Security found me outside, shaking so badly I couldn't unlock my phone. They checked the office. No one was inside. The printer was out of paper. The front badge logs showed no failed entries after 6 p.m., but my computer had sent one message at 10:58 p.m. It was sent to the company-wide group chat. It said, "He left, but I'm still here." Nobody ever admitted to doing it. I quit 2 weeks later. The company moved offices that winter, but I still talked to one co-worker who stayed until the end. She told me the printer kept printing after I left. Always late, always one line. Who is staying tonight? The last time she worked overtime, she found a printed photo on her desk. It showed the empty office from above, like a security camera angle. In the photo, every chair was turned toward her desk. And under each desk, something was hiding. Story 3, Apartment 6, B. When I lived in my first apartment, the walls were thin enough to know everyone's routine. The man upstairs showered at 5:30 every morning. The couple below me fought on Sundays. And the woman in 6B, across the hall, watched old game shows every night until midnight. I never actually met her. I only knew her by the sounds, the TV music, the applause, the little bursts of laughter. Sometimes I heard her talking back to the host, always in a soft voice I couldn't quite understand through the door. Then one week, 6B went quiet. No TV, no footsteps, no door closing. At first I thought she had gone on vacation. Then the smell started. Not death, not garbage, something sweeter. Rotten flowers and wet carpet. I told the landlord. He said he would check. That evening he knocked on 6B while I stood in my doorway pretending not to listen. No answer. He unlocked the door, opened it a few inches, and immediately stepped back. Then he closed it and locked it again. I asked if everything was okay. He said, "She's not in there." But his face said something else. That night I woke up to game show music. It came from 6B, loud, cheerful, muffled through the wall. I checked the time, 3:03 a.m. The strange thing was I recognized the episode. My grandmother used to watch the same show when I was little. I remembered the theme music, the cheesy applause, even the host's voice. But this broadcast sounded wrong, like it had been recorded on a tape that had been copied too many times. The host asked a question I couldn't make out. Then a woman answered from inside 6B. I heard her clearly through the wall. She said my name, not loudly, not like she was calling me, like I was the answer. Then someone laughed, not the audience, not the host. A single woman, laughing right behind the door across the hall. I looked through my peephole. The hallway was dark. The door to 6B was open, only an inch. Blue TV light flickered from inside. Then a hand reached out and placed something on the hallway floor. The door closed. I waited 10 minutes before opening my own door. On the floor was an old Polaroid photo. It showed me asleep in my bed, taken from inside my room. I called the police. They searched my apartment first. No forced entry, no hidden cameras, nothing missing. Then they opened 6B. The apartment was empty, no furniture, no TV, no woman, just stained carpet and walls covered in faded rectangles where pictures used to hang. The landlord kept saying, "This isn't right." Apparently 6B had been vacant for 3 months. The woman I thought lived there had moved out before I ever signed my lease. I showed them the Polaroid. Nobody had an explanation. The next few nights, I slept with a chair under my door handle. It didn't help. I also started noticing small things out of place. The chain lock on my door would be undone in the morning. My bedroom window would be cracked open, even though I lived on the 6th floor and never opened it. Once I found my TV remote sitting in the hallway directly in front of 6B. The worst was the smell. It followed me into my apartment now, faint but constant. Rotten flowers, wet carpet, old dust. At 3:03 every morning, the game show music started. Sometimes it came from across the hall, sometimes from inside the wall behind my bed. Once it came from my bathroom, even though the bathroom radio had been broken since I moved in. On the final night, I woke up before the music started. The apartment was silent. Then I heard my closet door slide open. A blue light flickered through the crack. The game show host said, muffled and cheerful, "Tell us what's behind door number 6. A woman laughed from inside my closet. Then the Polaroid camera flashed. I ran out with no shoes, no wallet, no keys. I slept in my car until morning. When I came back with 2 friends, there was a new photo taped to my bedroom door. My friends tried to joke about it at first, but neither of them touched the picture. We all just stood in the hallway, looking at it, while the door to 6B sat closed behind us. From inside that apartment, very faintly, came the sound of applause. It showed my empty bed. The blankets were pulled back, like someone had been lying there. On the pillow was a note written in black marker. "You missed the show." I moved out at the end of the month. A year later, curiosity got the better of me, and I searched the building online. There was a new review from a tenant on the 6th floor. One sentence made my hands go cold. "Nice place, but the woman in 6B keeps her TV way too loud." Under the review was a photo of the hallway. In the background, the door to 6B was open, and standing just inside it was a woman holding a Polaroid camera. Being alone at night doesn't always mean no one is there. Sometimes it only means you haven't noticed them yet. If you enjoyed tonight's stories, subscribe to Midnight Signal Stories for more original horror narrations after dark. And before you decide you're safe tonight, listen carefully. Some things wait until the house gets quiet.